Why would someone buy the sauna that you're about to get delivered today instead of another type?
Super easy to put together. Easiest sauna on the planet to put together. No buckles like in the back. So if you set it up against a wall, you wouldn't be able to get your arm back there to clip them. It has recessed slip latches inside of the recessed cavity. You'll see when we put the left and right sidewalls together. Man, tons of reasons. They just make it super simple. It's literally the easiest It's the easiest sauna that you can put together without like a special person, like a handyman or installer. You don't really need a white glove service. You just need a helper. So what we're gonna do is, we destroyed this whole place so that we can get ladders and lights on both sides to really show you exactly what it's like to put this together.
Can you show me an example of a complicated sauna?
Yeah, not every company has the same assembly process. And so I would really like to show you an example of this one, which is a great sauna, but it has buckles like this that are in the back. So if you were to assemble this sauna in a corner like it is over there, you physically cannot put it together in its final resting place, right? And get your arm back there and clip these. So what you have to do is you have to assemble it a foot or two out so that you can get your body in the back, clip those things together. And then you have to be able, you gotta be strong enough or have enough help to be able to push it into the corner. And so one of the things that's easiest about these is there are no buckles. There's those recessed latch system like we're gonna see when we put it together. So you can assemble it in its final resting place and you don't have to move it. And you don't need to get back there. But what you're not gonna see, like I don't wanna badmouth these guys because they make a really good sauna too, and I promote these. And for somebody that's claustrophobic or wants an all glass front or whatever, there's a great purpose and utility for these. But the thing is, they've improved them a little bit over the last couple of years, but like this sauna was aligned perfectly in the place that it was installed in before. But right now, it's sitting, there's a tack strip in the back and it's not level. So you can get this as perfect as you want and it's still not, like the adjustments just aren't there. The thing that's difficult about these is that there's an Allen key behind each one of these brackets and also on the top. And the only thing that holds the front of this together is these L brackets that goes into the wood. And then that combines with this L bracket that holds the face of the glass on. And so in order to adjust the doors and get all this working perfectly, there's quite a bit of an adjustment here and there's a lot of finagling. Like you either have to be really skilled and hold this bolt and the piece on with the rubber gasket so the metal doesn't touch the glass, or you gotta have a helper that kind of knows what they're doing. And so I think a lot of people, like if you're older, if you're like my parents or whatever, you're 65, you're like kind of handy, but not really. A lot of people are worried to get one of these things in their house, right? Like they don't want to get the thing here and then not have the right kind of help to put it together. So today the intention is to make the best possible tutorial that we can to make it as easy as possible. And you're going to see how simple it is to assemble. You'll see in a few minutes the sauna is going to come on a box truck or a semi with a liftgate delivery. Usually it'll be, the guy will have a pallet jack and he'll either drop it in the driveway, or if you're in an apartment complex, he'll drop it in your parking space or whatever. Try to get him to, if you are in an apartment, get it as close to the stairs as possible, so you can take it apart outside and then won't have to carry it a long ways. If you're in a house with a garage in the front, it's really useful in case it rains just to have them wheel it in the garage. I don't have that luxury. My garage is in the back. It would be a lot more work for us to try to drop the pallet in the back and then bring everything inside. It's also a lot farther. So what we're gonna do is just drop it in the front, in the driveway near the street. We'll disband the pallet. We'll take apart the boxes and open them up. We'll try to keep all the styrofoam and the packaging and everything else outside. If it's raining or in a snow climate or whatever, you can watch some of my other tutorial videos which show you how to bring all that stuff inside, still in the boxes, so that you don't get the wood wet or anything like that. We have the luxury of being in Florida today, so it's sunny. We're gonna take advantage of the climate, open everything outside. We're gonna lay the pieces out in the house exactly how it's going to go together. So when we go to assemble it, you won't be questioning like, is this the left or is this the right? And I'll show you what the identifiers are. And then there won't be any like confusion as far as the cable hookups either. It's really simple. They're plug and play, they're labeled, and there's different size connectors for each one. One of the things that I like about this company too is that they make it to where you can't hook it up the wrong way. So it's really nice. Okay. anticipate the guy next door mowing the lawn.
Yeah, the mower seems to be done.
Yeah, so I was a little concerned because anytime you see that the pallet is damaged or like coming apart, sometimes it indicates that the sauna has been hit. So what I did was, if you come around this way, is I peeled this up just to make sure there wasn't any damage to the corner or anything like that. What you'll see, oh, it's irrigation time next door. See how there's not a lot of space down here? In the warehouse, they'll try to scoop it from the side with a forklift. And if the guy's not paying attention and he misses, he'll stab the box, which means he stabs all the panels, the glass, everything, it shatters everything. So if you see any penetrations, you know, in the box itself near the bottom, you don't want to sign for it. Because otherwise, you're going to take all this stuff apart, you're going to get this in the house, and everything's going to be broken, and you got to take it all. It's a nightmare. So just want to check that, but other than that, it looks good. This is normal wear. There's one little stab here, but there's no damage. Everything was fine. Sometimes the shipping companies can be really rough with them. If it's really damaged, I mean, it'll be like laying on its side. Always check it before you sign, and then that's it. Just start taking it apart and get it inside. You can take this apart, but it's really not necessary. All you do is grab the boxes. There's going to be your roof and your floor in this size. The larger front, back, and sides will be in this size. And then the glass is usually in another one. I can't remember the order. It depends on the model. But yeah, as long as the boxes are in good shape, you don't have any issues. You can see how dirty my hands are getting from this thing riding in the box truck for delivery. I don't know if you can see this across the top, but it gets super dirty. So if you can, it's always better to undo these boxes outside. So we're just gonna score the tape on 3 sides. We'll leave the 4th side so it kind of opens like a little pendulum. Just lay these down, open it up. And then I'm probably gonna go wash my hands because you don't want to stain the wood from the packaging. So for the purpose of this video, we just want to be able to get the ladders and stuff around. Generally, you'd be installing it up against a wall or something like that. But in this case, the back of the sauna is going to go right here. So the first piece will be the floor, and then you want to lay the pieces out in the room how they're going to go together. So you want to figure out which is the right, which is the left. And it's super easy to do. The cutout for the bench and the connector is always going to be to the back. So the other piece will be this complementary opposite. It'll have this section, but just for the left panel. So this is the right and this is the back. So we'll lay it out in the room to where you have the floor. When it's time to put this on, you just grab it and pull it in, rather than trying to get all of them stacked, you know, in the corner and then figuring out which one is which. This one will be a little more careful with, because there is glass inside.
Oh, nice, and they label it glass inside.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they don't want you to break it either. For this one, because it's that big, I'll have you guys help me.
So this is one of those moments that you'll definitely need a second person for this.
For this size of sauna, yeah, like for a 3-person sauna and up, you definitely want, because the panels are just too big. Like you saw how much I was stretched. Does that work for you?
Yep.
All right? Yep. This is the piece you don't want to drop. You can drop all the other pieces, but not this one. Yeah. Got it. Floor and the roof. So the roof is always last. So always set the roof off to the side. So the goal with this is that you don't need this. Actually, the goal is that if I send one of these things to my parents or my grandparents, can they put it together with just watching the video? That's the whole goal. And this is kind of like what I was talking about too. If you have a person in there that's heavier, they put these latches in there
to keep the sidewalls from bowing out. So if you put extra pressure on them or you lean on them, it's a nice touch.
So I'm not too worried about vacuuming or cleaning the saunas until it's completely assembled. However, did want to point this out. Sometimes there's little styrofoam strips from the boxes. And so if there are any of these down in the channel or in the little recessed portion of the walls where they go together, you know, obviously it won't sit level. So if there's anything like this, like I see a couple of little pieces like this, I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum these really quick just to make sure that we don't get anything that's lopsided because I missed something small. So we're gonna start with the back wall, and basically until you get an L shape that's locked together, you need 2 people. Because one of the walls, you'll see in a second, the walls can fall over until they're at least locked together with one other piece. So you take the back wall, set it into the slot, and so it seems like it won't fall over, right? But if you accidentally nudge it, or the wind blows, or whatever, it will come down because there's nothing else holding it. It doesn't matter if you start on the right or the left for the sidewalls. I'm just gonna choose to grab this one because it's closer, right? And then if this is definitely the part where you need 2 people, but if you could just stabilize that, we'll get this one going. And then the only thing that I really wanted to illustrate, or these go together, you can see that there's a recessed portion where this wall is gonna fit into here. And then this pin is gonna fit into this slot here. So what that means is when these go together, you have to pick up on it slightly to get them to latch for that to go in. And you can't see that once the walls go together. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take the side wall and go up with it about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch. Sometimes if you've never done it before, they don't latch. The way that you check it is if it pulls apart, it's not latched. If it does pull apart, it's cinched. And then don't worry about a little play. There's a 1/16 to an 1/8 amount of play in here. And that gets tightened up when you put the roof on with this routed edge. Let's make you do it.
Sure.
What do you want me to do? Let's make a guy do it that's never done it before.
Yeah, we're gonna bring in
It's me doing it.
a guy off the street.
Certified guy off the street. Yeah.
look at the uniform we put him in.
It might actually be helpful. So we put the back on, we attach the right wall. Now you have some type of, it's better if you don't have your shoes on when you're in here because there is no coatings on this wood. So if you have stuff, you know, from the rocks outside or whatever, it's a good idea not to have shoes on. But basically once you have one corner attached, this won't just fall over, right? Like it's loose, it's not secured just yet. But there's no risk of, you know, entire catastrophe. If you've never done it before, there's a little finesse to it, right? Because there's not a lot of play to get, you know, one of these into this. So you're gonna take this piece and we're gonna set it in this channel. We're gonna set it in the channel all the way forward.
Okay.
So that we're not trying to jam it in to the back. So, and then you just wanna be gentle, watch the bottom so we don't scuff it. So in here, Aaron, there are channels, you know, for this bench support piece. So this sidewall won't actually go all the way down until we get it into its final resting position. So until this goes back, it won't fit down in there. Like you can't assemble the lashes until you get the base in the right place. We're gonna lift up on this piece about 1/4 of an inch. We're gonna keep pressure on this back piece so that they actually recess, and then we'll pull it down to latch it together. Make sense? Yep. Okay, ready? And then down, and then check it. Okay, that's it.
So it's time to start wiring her up, and all of these are labeled. Most of it you can't mess up. So for example, if we just start with B2, we've got S1 and S3. We know that's not the ones. The labels and the size of the connector also. We've got B2, simply plugs together like so. And thank you so much for filming this. I've tried to illustrate this for people like 900 times, but it's hard to do this and hold a camera. So really appreciate you guys today. And then you can tell these little labels like are completely different than the white ones. So we've got 3, 4, 5. So we will match up the 5s. So we got 5, which is also the largest connector. And we'll put those together. And you can hear them click. And we'll just get those out of the way. It's difficult to illustrate because, you know, it's kind of tight down here, getting a camera in here, getting lights in here. But we got the 4s, and then we have 3, and we'll just double check that this is the 3, even though it's the last one. And it is. So we'll connect those together. And then we have S1 and S3. And if you're anything like me, you're kind of imagining right now, where do those go? These are for the top secret bench heater that we showed you guys in the FLIR camera. It's one of the advantages to buying this sauna. There are heaters in the bench, and so you won't connect these until you put the bench top on. And I'll show you how to do that in the next section. They clip together just like the other side. Super simple. And then we've got B1 and B1. And we're done, except for the bench. So it's time to put the bench support in. And those other cables that I was talking about at the back are gonna hook up to the calf heater. And the way that you know the orientation for the calf heater is there's vents that are kind of concealed underneath the bench top, which are here. So these always face up, not down. Bring it in, it's gonna get kind of tight here. You line these pieces up with these grooves. I'll show you, but it's self-explanatory. There's a tongue and groove on the side. And then you just line up both sides. That latches together. It's a little stiff, not pretty tight tolerances here. This is a really nice feature of these saunas, is this extra clip here. And so when you attach the bench support to the wall, that tightens this up so that if you have a backrest on the side or you want to sit sideways in the sauna and you put pressure on the backrests, this doesn't bow out. So we've got S3 and S3. We just connect that. And then the only other plug is for the bench heater, which I'll show you now. Front and back to this, I don't know if you can see, but there's an extra sanded rounded over piece in the front compared to the back is a straight edge. So it's pretty simple. You just get this in here, line it up, slide it in, and then before we slide it into place, I'll connect this. This is the bench heater, as you can see on FLIR camera. Something else that comes on a Radiant Health standard that you can't really get in other saunas. And that's it. Now it's time to put the front glass on, and then we'll put the roof on. Same as before, set the bottom piece in, set it down so you can reposition your hand in the front. Okay. And inside hand on the bottom. There you go. And then just slip in the bottom piece. Yep. Okay. When it comes together, you know, this could be a little off, so you just want to cinch that in. And then just like all the other pieces, you're going to do this side. We're going to pick up on it 1/4 of an inch and push this way. It'll latch in, then we'll pull it down. It's this piece right here. So if we just need this little slip lash to get up high enough, which is about 1/4 of an inch, to recess and then lock into place. So we'll put those together and then we'll go up 1/4 of an inch. You can see it clip in, and then when it comes down, now it's attached. Put some pieces up here, and they're probably gonna fall. So we take the big ones and put them in the back, because they'll stay. We're gonna take the roof and slide it over the top, and then we're gonna set it right on these blocks. And then if you can go around and down. Good? Yep. So usually you get on the ladder, you open the little trap door, there's cable in here, you put it through the chase, you connect these, right? It's FR and FR. They're labeled, you can't mess it up. And stick that back up through. So you take the slack out of it so that when the roof goes down on, it doesn't pinch this in there like that. And then once the roof sits down on this indentation here, we'll tuck all the cables in here and close the little trap door. I can't see, but hopefully you can. You got FR and you got FR. So same thing as the other side. Connect those together, make sure that clips, and then pull the excess up through like that so that it doesn't pinch when you come down. And then we've got one that we want to attach to, can you see? Yeah, here it is. Got it.
And that is a separate channel.
And one. Yes. One's for the heaters in the front wall, and then one's for the control panel. So this is going to the controller. And then this is actually power for the front wall because there's frontal heaters in there. So Then we'll take and put the excess through just like before. And then now we'll move to the back. This one has a lot more connectors.
And this is the back right corner?
The back right. You know, we're right over the power supply. Just like in the floor, the majority of the connectors are here. So we've got 4 total. Okay. So pretty simple. Same thing. FR. So we'll get that one out of the way. And then we've got number 5 to number 5.
Gotcha, okay.
To number 5. And then there's a top and a bottom. You see the clip, and then there's a raised ridge, right, that goes in the clip. Some of this is overkill, right? Like these are different size connectors, so you can't hook this one up to the wrong one. But just for the sake of argument, this is number 3. This is number 3. It only goes together one way. And then same thing. This is number 4 and number 4. So we'll put those together. And then you can kind of see, like these are all different angles. You definitely want to tuck these in and pull the excess up so that when we slip the roof down, this doesn't cause an issue because they kind of get in the way anyway. That'll be ready for this channel to just come down over those wires nice and neat. Same thing, FR, line the clips up, and we're good. Pull the excess up through like that, and then we're ready to put the roof down. And then just knock the blocks off. And then bring your slide down a little bit. So this is a good example of what not to do, right? Like I didn't do a good job of feeding it up through when I go to lower it down. So it was getting pinched like this. So you want to shove these up through. So then when you lower it down, I mean, I'm making this more difficult than it really is on, you know, in real life, but just trying to illustrate how not to get those caught in there. You just need some finagling to pull this down. So what's next? We'll put the door handle on. So we'll just loosen these. And then it just comes apart like that. Then you take your Phillips head. And then you've got a protective glass washer on each side. Screw, flange, metal washer or grommet, and then plastic for glass protector. And then that just goes through like so. And then same thing on this side, plastic, always plastic on plastic for the glass protection. Then this piece, and then this thread's on. Slip those through there. I should have done the top one first, makes it easier. Then you just kind of want to snug them up a little bit, leave some play there. And then there is some slack in these. So you want to make sure that it's actually vertical before you cinch them up, because otherwise it'll be a little crooked. So I just do it to eye rather than trying to take measurements or anything like that. You don't have to be crazy with tightening it up. And then for the inside, you just take the Allen keys. So just back the set screws out. Like this one is sticking out just a little too much, might make it hard to put on. So we'll back that out just a little bit. And then they just fit on top of these here. And then you just start tightening them up a little bit. Okay. And then these little guys are the cup holders for inside. All right, so the cup holders go on really easily. They just slip over these right here. And obviously we still have to clean it. I made the mistake of not taking these stickers off on some of my saunas before. And if you start using it, it'll leave a residue behind and then you can kind of see the square. So I take this off. And this is the vent. If you want to vent the sauna, allow some airflow through here. That's your thermostat hole there. And then I'll turn on the chromotherapy lights. Whatever color you'd like. If we want to turn the sauna on, we'll turn it on. And then I'm going to set it to delay. I don't want it to start for about an hour. And when it does start, it will automatically go to max temp if I leave it set on that. So in about an hour, it'll kick on. So the bench heaters underneath the seat are with this button here. We're gonna set for a max of 60 minutes and 149, and now she's running. And we might turn on some tunes also, maybe after we turn off the camera, because technically we're not allowed to play music per YouTube guidelines. So underneath where you sit inside the bench top heaters are selectable. So what you're gonna see in the FLIR camera, which most people don't know, even if you go to a hot tub store or somewhere else, is there's far infrared completely wrapping the body in these saunas. So you've got front panels here, you got side panels here, you got leg panels, calf heaters, you got floor feet heaters, back heaters, and then what you don't see, what you're gonna see right now on the FLIR camera, is the bench heaters. And that's selectable via this switch right here. So if for some reason you don't wanna run those or it's too warm for you that day, you can just turn them off. But if you turn them on like this and then come back in the sauna, you're gonna see how much this heats up. And basically it wraps the body from head to toe in far infrared. I'm just gonna do this really quickly for a short demonstration. But you would use a full-size vacuum for this. It's just easier for us to film with a cordless. So you wanna come in, you wanna set this on at max temperature, 60 minutes, let it run before you ever use it. And then you wanna come in here with I like to use a brush tip vacuum, because for me grabbing the panels and everything else, I got dust on them. So we'll just clean everything while it's heating up. You can see I have dust in the back. We wanna get all that stuff off. And the packing materials and everything else, the styrofoam on the heaters, you want to get that off. You don't want there to be any debris left on the child safety guard. There's a child safety guard here because these get pretty hot. So if you do have your kids in here, your family's in here, you bump into this, it won't burn you, but it also gets warm. So you really don't want dust or contaminants or styrofoam, packing materials, plastics, whatever, any leftover residue. So you want to wipe it down really good. If you have any residue on the wood, you just take a damp cloth, wipe this down very gently. It doesn't need to be saturated. You don't want to make the wood wet, just enough to clean off the dust from the cardboard. So this is a Radiant Health E-2.5. It's a little bigger than the E-2H that has been the sauna of the year for multiple consecutive years. This sauna requires a 20 amp circuit, but it also, I'm sure you can see on the FLIR footage that we shot earlier, if you come inside just a little bit, you'll see that the frontal infrared coverage is pretty massive. You've got heat on each side of the door. So for both people that sit in here or one person, there's frontal infrared, there's side infrared, there's massive heaters across the back, there's feet heaters, leg heaters, calf heaters, and you've got the selectable benchtop heaters in the bench to get the underside, which is really difficult. Most saunas that's cold. And then the heaters also go up high enough to get the shoulders, no matter how tall you are, even if you're 6'5", get the shoulders, get the neck, loosen up those stiff muscles. The thing that I'm liking so far about this is there is a lot of room in here to add the backrest and go ahead and lean back. So even if you're, I don't know, man, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", you should be able to turn sideways. The ladies that want to get comfortable in here and put their legs up and stretch out should be able to do this no problem. Right now I'm about 215, 216 pounds, 6 feet tall. I'm broad-shouldered. There's plenty of room in here to do all kinds of configurations. A lot of times people like to sit, you know, just with one leg up, or they'll be reading a book or have towels and they got their stuff, or they put an iPad in the door with one of those little suction mounts. If you want to learn how to do that, join the Facebook group at Certified Sauna Community. And I've got tutorials in there. If you're going to place this in a basement, cold environment, there's plenty of space in here. Like, it's bigger than the E-2H, which is a 15 amp 2-person model, but it's significantly narrower, and it only has the frontal infrared on one side. This has it on both. So I'm really liking the size of this cabin. And I think this lends itself well to placing it in a cold basement or cold garage in the north, because there's enough space in front of you to add supplemental heat if you need that, because most infrared saunas struggle below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty much of any brand, they start to struggle. So you could add near infrared heat lamp bulbs in here hanging from the ceiling. You could add supplemental heat. You could go in the Facebook group and see the traditional Finnish style sauna heater that we added to one of these if you wanted to do that. If this sauna is right for you, you can call Radiant Health or go to radianthealthsaunas.com. Use coupon code MattJustice-500 for a nice discount off your purchase. And then if you need post-order support, it's in the Facebook group. Feel free to use the YouTube comments, email us, or post Actually, in the Facebook group, you can post a picture or a 15-second video of your install location. So if you have questions, if you don't know if this is right for you, if you don't know if you're in a short basement and you only have like 79 inches or 78 inches, you don't know if there's enough room to like get the roof on and still do the wire connections, post a picture of your space and we'll be able to help you out so that you can kind of know before you buy and figure out what's right for you. But highly recommend this company. They've been Sauna of the Year for multiple consecutive years, and just in love with the product. The service is good. The product is always good. Works exceptionally well. Looking forward to many, many years of use out of this thing.